Okay to do that. I think it's okay to do that. But the problem comes that if you're calling everything fascist and then some real fascism starts to emerge, cop pulls you over and gives you a ticket, even though you were only 3 miles over the limit, that's fascist. The fascist cop gave me a ticket. You know, the professor wouldn't allow you to turn in your paper late. That fascist professor. He could have given me an extra 2 days. So, and again, here's the thing. If fascism, when a true fascist and true fascism emerge, but you spend your time calling everything you did tonight neoliberalism, status quo liberalism, a entrenched oligarchy, you know, if you call everything fascist, when true fascism emerges, you won't really recognize it.
Oh.
You'll end up in a position.
Oh, be quiet. Hey, y'all. Sorry about that. Oh shit. Sorry. Damn. Magnets. I left my thing downstairs. So I had to run and grab it. So I just thought I'd give y'all a blast from the past. That show was called, what was that called? That show I was playing from last year is called Chocolate Coated Fascism, which I think it was a timely and insightful show because so many Black folks have shown receptive or extremely receptive to fascism. And it's not a surprise that so many Black people are receptive to fascism because we're subjected to the same indoctrination as white folks. So be it that we fall into some of the same indoctrinal traps that white folks fall into. And see, this motherfucker, Preston, this Democrat derangement syndrome is very concerning to me. Because, you know, people keep coming to me, Democrat. I had just said something about Nicki Minaj and her endorsement of Trump's Crusader-ism. And somebody came and said, don't forget Biden. It's like, but I've been through all this again. And I can't go through it again, man. If y'all want to keep, but I will say this. I think a lot of people's hostility towards liberals and towards the Democrats is more of a byproduct of the mass media, corporate mass media, than it is of their own examination and conclusions drawn independently. Man, this light is intense. Let me turn this light down. The light is kind of bright, all up in my face. I'm just turning the light down a little bit. Okay. But anyway, but I think y'all scared of real fascists. So y'all rather fight liberals. Y'all really fun. And let me tell you something that's really peculiar. Let me tell you something that's really peculiar. The liberalism has been defeated in America. Liberalism has been defeated by the far right. And even to the extent that even the people who are accused of being liberals, like Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden, even the people who are given the liberal title do not function as liberals. They don't govern as liberals, and the vast majority of their policies and their administrations govern too far to the right of anything that could be deemed as liberal. Liberals have been defeated, and yet people still talking about liberals because, and I've gone over this before, but people still out here, liberals, the liberals, and liberals been defeated. And what's funny is all these leftists who talk about the problem of the liberals ain't got no smoke for the right, don't even mention or acknowledge the right's existence, let alone the right's power. But then I'm a liberal, I guess, because I get called a liberal because I want to have a sober analysis and have a rational assessment. Hold on a second. I know this is unprofessional. But anyway, while we on this, please like, share, subscribe. Please make a contribution. It's hard times out here for everybody, including BroDiallo. So, you see going across the screen just now, down there. Look at that. Those are ways you can help out on a material scale. Let me put it back in case some of y'all, I know y'all busy writing down ways you can support. Anyway, well, let's see. Also, Halloween was Friday, and I want to say this to everybody who didn't vote for me in the Halloween costume contest. Why are you watching? Why are you watching? My wife won the Halloween contest, and I want to tell her sincerely, congratulations. She won. She was dressed as the black girl drummer from Jim and the holograms. Jim is truly contagious, outrageous. Jim is my name. So she dressed as the black girl from Jim. She had a guitar when the character she dressed as was a drummer. Y'all voted for her overwhelmingly to win. Congratulations to her. But let me tell you something. It was a wasted vote. Voting for her was like voting for Jill Stein. Because what you think? She won the candy, right? What you think she going to do with the candy? She going to give it away to the kids. She going to give her candy away. So y'all that was a hollow victory. Y'all vote for me to win. I won the contest last year. Let me tell you something. I kept all my shit. I didn't give nothing up. You going to root for the Bulls just to have them hand over the trophy? So it was a hollow victory. Even though it was a victory, take nothing away. I don't want to play her hate. She's already suggesting that there's a lot of resentment and hatred and tension in this house. She wants to suggest that. But Prester John, you act like John from the Bible. Tell me, you don't even understand what I say about liberals because you are so fixated on this beating on and attacking liberals that anybody that says anything other than liberal bad, you can't really rock with anything. You cannot accept any other assessment other than liberal bad. I've already said liberal bad. That's not really an analysis. But I haven't seen you come on here and say anything about fascist conservatism or right-wing ideology or politics. All you talk about is liberals. What the blood clot? And you name me a legitimate liberal who's in power. The next comment, you list a legitimate liberal who is in power, and then we can talk about that liberal. This is sweet, damn. But I don't know where Seun is. I know I promised y'all Seun. Damn, this is hella sweet. What did I do? I put some cashew milk in this. This is like dandelion, nutmeg something. So weird tea my son was drinking. And then I put some cashew milk. So anyway, I called him. He told me he'd be here. He said, literally, I quote, "This is a perfect time." I sent him the link. So it is what it is. But we're going to move on because we can't be long, but we must be strong. You wrote that wrong. So you be saying justice for Seun. I want justice from Seun. We need justice from Seun. Not for him, but from him. Let me stop. Let me stop blowing up his phone. I'm sure it's something. Anyway, what is it? 11, 3, 20, 25. Okay, that's it. That's my final attempt. Anyway, I'm sure he has good reasons. But that's fine. We'll just jump into a Q&A. We'll go straight into a Q&A. What the hell is this? What the hell, y'all? This is so weird. There's so much weird shit every time they update this software. Anyway, we want justice from Seun. Have I ever tried acorn tea? I don't think so. This is some weird. It was in like a purple tea bag. I never had this before, but it's hella sweet. But anyway, thank you to everyone who voted. Congratulations to Erica for winning with her creative costume. I know my costume was a bit obscure, and I guess just it was not a winning costume, and it happens. So shout out to Aromo and his extremely low effort costume. I think he deserved to lose, but this is pistachio milk in here. But you know, I'm coming back harder next year. I'm coming hard to the paint because I do intend to win. You know. Okay, let's do some Q&A. And if Seun doesn't show up, and give him a little time, if he doesn't show up, we're just going to jump in with both feet. Oh, crap. He's here. He's here. Late.
And
Time it is.
fuck out of here with that bullshit late. I ain't late. Late people are in the cemetery.
You may not come when we want you, but you're always right on time. How you doing, man? It's good to see you.
What's up, my brother? You looking good, man.
You think so? Thank you.
Yeah, man. I'm tired as fuck.
I know. I see you be busy. I told you I use my hater vision to keep up with you.
No, man, is your brother vision. You think you're a hater. You want everybody to think you're a hater or the Grinch, but you know you're just.
I'm the Grinch who can't have it. I am a hater. I'm a communist. Nobody, huh?
You're a big softie. I need to get me some water, man. Give me a sec.
Take all the time you need. It's not like I told you several hours ago and sent you the link. Take all the time you need.
You see, when last did Trump fight for you, bro?
Huh? He's too busy fighting for Nigerians.
Exactly. So I'm feeling the love, bro. Please allow me.
Right. So I know you want to come on here and thank Trump for his promises of help and freedom and democracy, and that he's bringing to Nigeria. So I do want to give you an opportunity to send your thanks. Nicki Minaj got out ahead of you and already thanked Trump.
Yeah, what can I say? Me and my homegirl Nikki, I never thought there would be a time, that Nikki and I would be rooting for the same cause, but here we are,
Here
10 toes down, freedom for Nigeria, freedom for the Christians of Nigeria.
And allow me to bring people up to speed, because I don't know people, but Trump did say, he said that he was representing, paraphrasing, God's army. And God's will and God's judgment will rain down on the people persecuting Christians in Nigeria. And he wants to send the U.S. military and mobilize the U.S. military might to end the persecution of Christians. And he's literally
using, and he literally is using Crusader justifications. Because remember, rescuing Christians in foreign lands was the entire justification for the European Crusade.
Father, let your spirit take control, Father.
Right, telling white folks of the Middle Ages that there are Christians in a far-off land suffering, and we're going to send our Jesuit mercenaries to rescue them and rescue the relics too. Also, they were going to save Christians and aid them on their pilgrimage. So this is literally neo-Crusader-ism. So if I want you to share with us, is there persecution and a crisis for Christians in Nigeria?
I don't know. Is it persecution or genocide? It's genocide.
Oh yes,
Christians.
genocide. Yes, it's genocide
It's
against
genocide.
Christians.
Yes, so that's what we've been hearing. Nigeria, I told you my country is like that. A genocide can be happening and all of us don't even know. All the Christians in Nigeria have never marched. I've not seen a single, this is how how, I'm gonna, I don't want to say all the things I'm preparing for my show. Drop all the gems on your show. But, Nigerian Christians aren't that thing, There was one time they were because in my country, right, the Muslims are in charge of the meat business. They control the cattle, and there's been a lot of clashes between farmers and herders because those routes that used to be like ancient migrating path for the herders to move their cattle have all been domesticated into farms. And so their cattle just go and eat up millions of dollars worth of crops. And this has been causing a lot of clashes. And so the government said, okay, because the north is kind of dry, it's desert, kind of, like they need to build ranches in southern Nigeria, and there was this pastor that came out, man, like, this is the Islamization of Nigeria, just to allow for the Muslims to build a cattle ranch, bro. This was national issue. It was declaration of civil war, literally. So just imagine this group being genocided and everywhere is quiet. And this is just ranch. They were going to build some ranch from Muslim part of Nigeria, some cattle, just to bring some cattle from the northern part of Nigeria to the southern part of Nigeria. It was almost war, bro. So just imagine this. Like, if you go to WikiLeaks, like, and this is just like the real truth of it. Like, and check out the documents about Nigeria in the Nigerian, like, the CIA is fully in charge. They have infiltrated every corner of our government, every institution, every nook and cranny of our country is there in WikiLeaks. America is everywhere. And even America did not know a genocide was going on until some raggedy Christian guys came to tell them, oh, they are killing Christian. All the satellite imagery of, come on. This is resource control and resource grab as usual, but I like to play along.
That was my second question.
Interest.
If Trump is not genuinely a Christian soldier on a crusade to rescue his fellow,
has there ever been a true Christian soldier on a crusade? Why are we talking as if this thing has ever happened where Europeans go somewhere because of Christianity? Like, has there ever been a real Christian soldier truly going on a crusade? That's like saying that there has been.
That. You don't want me, because I think that the only true Christian are the colonizers, the enslavers, and the genocide. I think those are the true
for
representatives
colonizing purposes. Yeah,
of Christianity.
See,
it's not
y'all be
because of
like, y'all see
Jesus.
somebody doing genocide and colonization, y'all be like, he's not a real Christian. He's not a good Christian. And I disagree.
I actually agree with you, bro. That's what a good Christian is.
Right.
But they always
Because if
say
I
that they
had
are
a
going for a
God,
crusade.
right.
They call it a crusade, but it's just colonizing. Crusade is the lie. That's what I'm saying. Show me a real crusade one time that you've just
Yeah.
gone really for Jesus. You've just gone to fight for Jesus. There's never been a real fight for Jesus. Jesus must be disappointed. All these wars declared in his name, and nobody is really fighting for him.
Well,
God damn.
I just say it's a male chauvinist murder cult. And I think there's only two types of Christians: conquered and conquerors. Those are only two types of Christians that exist on planet Earth. They can fit in one box. Are they conquerors or conquered? And
True.
vast majority of
Same for the
Christianity,
Muslims too.
yeah, exactly the same for Muslims. But the Muslims are the scapegoat this time. So, it's because we could talk, but yes, both male
I mean,
chauvinist murder.
is there a way that like they can just be like, okay, all the Christians and Muslims should fight this one out, and we that were not involved will be guaranteed safety, and nobody will just come to us, and we just have to like put a mark in front of our house, like, yeah, we're not Christian or Muslim, and just watch them do this one. Like, who do we
I,
call for that arrangement? Who do
well,
we call for that arrangement?
that's scary because you know why? Most,
I would really love to see this one out. Like, I would really,
but they're
I would
fighting for
really
our
love.
souls, though. We're the prize.
Oh my God,
We're
my
the prize.
soul.
So I was going to
We
ask
are the
you about
prize. Exactly, we are the prize. So we need to. Have you ever seen the prize involved in the game? The prize
no.
should not be involved in the game.
True.
You are
True.
supposed to be, put up on a pedestal, watching the game. And then when they're done, they can be like, you see, we won. We're the ones you should pick. Pick me. Pick us. We're the superior force.
I can't hear that because I grew up in a hood where didn't have respect for people who didn't fight their own battles.
Oh my God.
So until I see
Man, look
God,
at my nails, bro. Look at my fucking nails, bro. I ain't be fighting no battles, bro.
I'm
Look at my
saying I don't
hands.
respect people. Okay.
What are you
Okay.
doing? What are you
I'm
doing?
saying my assertion is that everybody's
You and
fighting
your
on behalf of God except God.
vegan latte, banana,
I'm not
bread, egg.
suggesting. What I'm saying is everybody fights on behalf of God except God. Everybody fights for God, but God doesn't do any of the fighting. He just is blessing those who fight on his behalf. But I wanted to ask you, because you kind of get out ahead of me. If Trump is not a genuine Christian fighting to save the lives of his Christian brothers and sisters on the African continent, what are his true motivations?
I think it's racism, really. Just that's the primary motivation for me. Just another chance to talk down, and belittle the lives of Black people, of African people. Brag about how he can just destroy our existence, just because he feels like it on a whim, the way they've done to the Iraqis, you know. I mean, with everything Putin has been doing in Kiev, why has nobody, sent a rocket his way from the United States or send the Americans to save the Christians of Ukraine? This,
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Ukrainians only matter if they are dispatched at the hands of Black people in the U.S. There
Okay.
was a Ukrainian killed by an American, and they want to build monuments to her. The same people who are allied with
To
Vladimir.
say to say there's a genocide of Christians in Nigeria is like saying there's a genocide of children in America because people are killing children every day in the United States for no reason. Just
That's We have a whole that's called infanticide.
Yeah, just going into schools and shooting up kids. We might as well claim like, oh, the United States is not doing anything. The United States is supporting the genocide of children in America, or the way they are killing black people all over the streets.
Yeah. Well, it does
And
classify.
all the black people in America are mostly Christians.
Yeah.
So the United States is committing genocide against the Christians in America.
Yes.
So I mean, this thing is neither here nor there. I think racism is the primary motivation for this, the dehumanization of African people, which is really their core motivation. That's what gets their blood racing. And the
Well,
second thing I think is resource control, in the race against China, and Nigeria building a stronger economic tie with China and the BRIC nation. I think Trump is using this as a strong arm tactics to draw our government into his sphere of influence with some threats of violence. The real gangster way. You know what I'm saying? And I think the third is just more distraction for the American people.
yeah,
He's
we
bombing.
love
He's
a
going to
little.
bomb Colombia. This month alone, they are preparing for war against Colombia. They are preparing for war against Venezuela. They are preparing for war against Nigeria. I mean, easy, Tiger. Easy, Tiger. Easy, 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 easy. You know what I'm saying? Easy, Tiger.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, and I think it's fair to
Iraq
say.
was how many million people? Iraq was how
Well,
many million people?
oh,
30,
but
40
that's
million?
the existing wars: Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, um,
Exactly. I mean, but
Syria, Yemen,
Iraq was how many million people in that
Yemen,
country? 30, 40
millions.
million?
Well, Colin
Yeah.
Powell said we don't count the dead. We don't.
No,
In
they
war.
killed about 3 million,
You
but
don't
they
count the
had,
dead in war. And the African American hero, the African American example role model, Colin, the war criminal Powell said that it's the
Nigeria, we are 200 million. I mean, I don't even mind it. I mean, they should come and blow up the whole. We don't own anything. We, the people of Nigeria, there are no institutions built for us, no
that's not going to.
universities,
I got some
no.
bad
So
news
all
for
the
you though.
things they are going to blow up are the businesses and buildings of their business partners and their own companies that are in Nigeria.
That's why the
Like.
U.S. is bailing out Argentina. Everybody here is mad about Trump bailing out a South American country when the
They
bailout
don't
means
understand that because it's
right.
American companies there. This is American
Argentina is going to
businesses.
default on its debt to U.S. investors. So if the country goes bankrupt, that means they'll default on paying the debt and the interest they owe to multinational corporations and venture capitalists. So when he says he's bailing out Argentina, Argentina is not going to get a dime of that money, of that
One
billion.
couple.
It's all
Like I
going
tell
to
people, like when they say they are giving Ukraine 30 billion in defense aid,
that money
I
staying
said,
right here.
Zelensky will see maybe 40 million in bribes or something. And the rest just
Somalia,
goes to Lockheed Martin, goes to Boeing, and all
Boeing,
these other, you know,
Hewlett Packard,
military,
HP,
Tesla,
Western Arm.
Amazon, Microsoft,
That's where
you
all
know.
that U.S. aid when they talk about bailing out a country. So it is very true. But I have to say, if you're being strict, the U.S. hasn't won a ground war since the Spanish-American War. The U.S. hasn't won a conflict. So it's not likely that, World War II, the U.S. took a victory lap for a war that it didn't win.
That was some real good PR, man. Like the moon,
U.S.
it was
got
like the
in,
moon landing.
it jumped in last, and it did the least. So the
That is
U.S.
that's
not
it is
win
it
war.
is the propaganda of the World War that gave them
Right.
the courage to say they landed on the moon.
Right. So the Second World War, the U.S. didn't win. The Vietnam War, we don't have to rehash that. But the Korean War is actually in detente. So there's no declared winner in the Korean War. So you can't even count that as a victory. The
The
U.S.
thing
has been
is, I don't think America looks to, they know they cannot really win a war in this modern. The plan is
not on the
destruction,
ground.
just to destroy. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just want to destroy,
Right.
destroy the country, But in my country, I don't know, like, what is there to destroy is their shit, Feel
Yeah.
free,
But then,
come to.
but you talk about the 3 million lives lost in the Iraq. There's almost $4 trillion, half of which is not accounted for.
Exactly. You
So
know,
we talk
man,
about the
I heard that
lives
people
lost.
in Iraq were finding money hidden in different. Listen, I think if they come
Vaults,
to Nigeria,
entire like King Tut's tomb, finding vaults full of gold and money to this day.
please, I hope they bring it like that to my country and I get lucky. What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say? Like, listen, this whole thing just shows like this is where we are in the world today. That the country that could say they found nuclear bomb in Iraq and there was no nuclear bomb can still just wake up and be the only country that has discovered the genocide, and discovered. I mean, this is also the weakness. It has shown how weak the global South has become. I mean, look at what's happening in Sudan. We are quiet. The African Union cannot even muster a defense for the people of Sudan. Look at what Rwanda and their M23 are doing in the
Congo.
Congo. Everybody in Congo is a Christian, 90% Christian nation, and that's actually a genocide happening there, in the Congo.
And
Africa.
Ethiopia.
Look at what Trump is doing to the people of Venezuela, bombing poor farmers, claiming that they are drug runners without any evidence. Nobody is standing up. Nobody is protecting each other. We can't see anything. Now it's our turn. We are just he has woken up one morning and he has agreed that we are committing genocide. They should drop plans to come and destroy our country. Because I was saying to my people one time, and everybody that he went viral, and people were talking shit about me in Nigeria because I said our leaders have failed us because they've not lived up to they've not lived up to uh, to the goals of the moment, to what they need to achieve at this moment, to our aspirations, to the aspirations, the needs and aspirations of the people at the moment. And I said, what will happen if if the Europeans, if America or the Europeans decide that they want to come and take everybody's first son in Africa, like every African family must relinquish their first son to Europe and America, and they land on our shores with their bombs, with their planes and their war machine, and decide that they're taking everybody's first son. What can we do to stop that? What can we do?
That's another
And
that's
everybody
another
said I was crazy. It can never happen. But look at where are we now? Trump has
yeah.
just unilaterally declared war on our country. What can our president do? He's trying to go there to explain and beg and say, "Oh, we are not committing genocide. Please help us fight the." I mean, imagine. Can he say? Imagine if Trump said this about. They've been screaming that the Chinese are committing genocide in Tibet and
Oh, the
in
Uyghurs, Chinese
the
killing all
Uyghurs as
Uyghurs.
well.
Yeah, I mean
As,
China
as,
is
as,
killing everybody
why
getting.
hasn't Trump? Okay, well, the Uyghurs are Muslims, so maybe that's why. So what? Anyway, nobody dare say anything,
But it's a
about that.
problem because Africans are still trying to adhere to the rule of law. You had mentioned the African Union. There was some local activist who was celebrating the fact that he got to go speak before the UN General Council. So we've got these international bodies, the UN, IMF, World Bank, Geneva, the International Criminal Court, and all of these standards, rules, principles, restrictions that the whole world is supposed to adhere by, nation to nation, country to country. And the US is blatantly violating the very norms that they imposed. They imposed. Them white folks went and sat down after what, and after the failings of the what's that that
League of Nations, no?
the League of Nations. After the League of Nations sat down, France, all the colonizers' nations sat down and wrote laws that all nations must follow. And then they put in international human rights and limits, and they even defined the crime of genocide and laid out the rules of genocide and the remedies and penalties for genocide. They have all these rules, volumes of books that they fucking forced me to read to get my degree, wasting my goddamn time. And they are violating all of those rules because the
Without
enforcers,
any care in the world, they don't even care.
the enforcers have no one, or as Kuti has a reggae song, there's no one to police the police. Who's going to police the police? So the enforcers have no one to enforce laws on them. But many African nations, African diplomats, African heads of state, as many other countries, are still leaning on these laws.
Yeah, because they also use those laws as crutches. They use those laws as crutches not to act in the interest of their people.
Exactly.
You
So
know?
the rule of law, this is high-tech barbarism. The world is under capitalist barbarism. And our leaders, whether it's the African diaspora, our community leaders, our elected leaders, our international leaders, our heads of states on the continent, they ain't got the memo. They got the memo and they shredded it or chewed it up and swallowed it. We're under capitalist barbarism, and they're still operating under the so-called rule of law. But I have another thing to ask you. And don't get mad at me, because I've read at least 3 articles on this issue. Y'all love Trump. Africa loves Trump.
That's why it's coming to save them, bro.
Can you explain? I mean, seriously, though.
Bro, I don't even understand the romance with African people and fascists. You know, I mean, it started from the manosphere. I don't know what's going on. You know, the gender war. I don't know. It's the whole Christian Islam ideology in people's. It has morphed them into this petite fascist. You know, like a really. I don't know how to call it.
Fascist, boss.
Yeah, because I think, you know, like we have this African petite bourgeoisie that they have morphed now into something monstrous. You know, they're like fascist wannabes. And then throw in Kanye West in the mix. Oh my God. But don't worry, whatever we are doing in Africa is because the famous African Americans who we are copying. So don't worry about it. All these Africans you see
it's
for
our
Trump.
fault. It's
Yes,
our
because
fault.
they see that all the hip hop stars they like
reverse.
are all for Trump. Yeah.
But black citizens in the United States have a disdain for Trump. Trump has the lowest support amongst black women in the U.S. He has the lowest level of support amongst
not
black
online,
women.
not the famous people online.
The algorithm boost. If you and I got on here talking patriotism and militarism, we would get 1 million views. So of course,
many of these black talking heads online that people listen to, and then also the white ones that are catching the interest. I mean, one of my good friends said Charlie, he was sad that Charlie Kirk got shot because nobody should be shot for airing his opinion. I actually put it in our group, and he said just because the man was sharing, talking to, touched on sensitive topics. I said, you black man, African man for that matter, from Nigeria, you are calling racism a sensitive topic. You see, I mean, so you have to understand the neo-colonial mindset there. When you think you are so white already, that to you racism now is a sensitive topic, because to white people the best they can offer is a sensitive topic. So you too is a sensitive topic. you know because people are so wrapped up in their European worldview. Many people are not blessed to have read Urugu, and even fewer still have read 2000 seasons. So we can't blame them. We can't blame them.
I don't see
You
my
know,
oh, let me see. Autograph
where's
copy.
your where's your 2000 seasons? Where's your 2000 seasons?
I think that's down on my nightstand.
Good, good.
I think that's on my nightstand. It's not up here, but it's autographed as well. Tell you one more time.
So I think that's the issue. You know, the internet got them. The internet got them. You know, and it got them through our African American brothers, the Kevin Samuels, you know, the Ice Cubes,
Yeah,
the
I've lost
Fee.
friends. Yeah, yeah. So, but a lot of times we of the African diaspora believe that Africans have a level of immunity because you guys grow up in an African environment under an African context, wearing African garb and speaking African language and eating African food. That growing up in the motherland, in the womb of civilization, that you would be more resilient or less susceptible to the propaganda that we Africans who
Diallo, please. Why are you being?
I'm
Why are you
just
being?
playing the Caucasus Mountain King Brother Devil's Advocate. There is a thing to say, yes, okay, yeah, you got some patriotic Yankee Doodle dandy, black Brits, black Americans, black Latinos, me no black, blacks in the Caribbean. But you would think if it's penetrated the motherland, because I grew up learning that when I was growing up, black people in America, we had to wear African clothes, speak an African language, and erect a shrine to the Orisha, and we will be free. We free ourselves mentally. And my question was
Well,
always, brothers and sisters
there,
on the
there,
continent
I can tell you that there are fewer Orisha houses in Lagos than in Atlanta.
or Brooklyn, New York.
I know more Ifa practitioners in the United States than I do in the whole of Nigeria combined. Yeah,
I have a
that's a
friend,
fact.
Yendes Nefer Atum. If you're in Brooklyn, check out her Ancient Blend. She has a nice little store in Brooklyn. She's a Yoruba priestess here. And she just got back from Nigeria today because there was
You see?
so true.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. But
so. I
whenever
mean,
I would go to
being we were colonized, you know, and with colonialism, you know, what it does is it replaces, it uses black hands to enforce white authority.
which makes it a little harder to see the okie doke.
Yeah, so most people just see that black hand and they think, you know, yeah, this is African. This is African thing happening. This is our thing, you know. And no matter how much that your thing is, the hand dragging you into a slave ship looks exactly like your fucking hand, you know.
All right.
It's the same shit, you know, like that's Chiwenzu, the West and the rest of us, explaining that to us vividly that there were always Africans willing to work against the majority of us to serve European interests. And those Africans are still, and their descendants are the ones that are still in control, you know, of Africa till today, you know. And that is the game still being played on us that we have to break out from, you know, to free the continent, you know. But I mean, I have a lot of things really. I'm serious. I really have a lot of things to say about this Trump genocide claim in Nigeria. It is so preposterous. It is crazy. But I mean, you still find certain Nigerians that are cheering it on.
Yeah.
You know,
And black Americans
and,
that
and, and
Nikki
and
and her bar.
one of the great contradictions now is that many of our prominent Nigerians have their children in the American military.
I've met them on campuses when I was going to school. I mean, when
They
I
have they
was at
actually
university
enlisted,
here,
and they post them online. They are so proud. Oh, my child just got enlisted in the United States Army, in the United States Navy, in the United States Air Force. He just got promoted in the Marines. So what's going to happen now?
true.
Are those kids going to come and point guns at us at home now?
I mean, the U.S. There was a rhetoric, empty rhetoric floating around, not as much anymore, that black people in the U.S. military will come home with the skills and the insights of the military so that we can mount an armed resistance to the government, because they are infiltrating. Like there's a, spook who sat by the door, and they go off the examples of Geronimo Jujaga Pratt, who was in the U.S. military.
I was privy to an argument of my uncle with an argument with my uncle had with a friend of his about going into government back then when Nigeria was just becoming a democracy and trying to change the system from within.
Mhm.
And my uncle said the funniest thing, one of the funniest things, because everybody in my family has an incredible sense of humor. But Uncle Beko had this really dry sense of humor, very dry sense, really dark but dry and funny at the same time, and because he's always serious. He never thinks he's joking. Like he seriously doesn't think he just told the joke. But it's the funniest thing you would have ever heard in your life. And everybody will be laughing at. He will be getting angry because he's trying to tell us this is not a joke. I'm making a serious point. Stop laughing. So he says to this guy that in the history of cockroaches and chickens, have you ever seen a chicken become a cockroach from, from eating a cockroach?
Oh,
And the friend said, no. He said, exactly. That's how you sound. Like you should allow the chicken to eat the cockroach. And when the cockroach is inside the chicken, the cockroach is going to change the chicken. No, you are going to become shit.
okay.
He said never, because basically the point he was trying to make is that never in the history of humanity has anybody changed anything from within it. Changes come from without.
Yeah.
So there's nobody that's going to go into the military in America to change the military. The military is going to change you. You're going to become a part of it. There's no going in there and changing nothing. You're
Yeah.
not doing anything. You just going there to become shit,
Yeah.
basically.
Well,
You know.
I like how you threw it on us Black Americans. It's our fault that Africans on the continent love Trump to the extent.
Yeah, man, you guys are buying. You guys, like black women, not so much, but the black guys that are kind of like, and then all the rich people, and Africans love rich people. Oh my God, we love rich people. Oh, in
They
our
want to make
country,
it to the top.
that is what makes our politicians actually untouchable. Like every time people want to get angry at them, they say, "I know you're angry, but I'm rich." Oh, you're rich, aren't you? Come on, you can't be mad at you, man. You're rich.
That's not unique to the continent. I've had people tell me that I don't have a right to criticize someone because they're wealthy and I'm not. So when I talk about
Exactly, know
Black,
your place, nigga.
they're like, yeah, you talk, but I can't sit here and critique or criticize Jay-Z and his various betrayals of the Black masses because he's rich. So what do I look like talking? Money talks.
Hater.
Yeah, I am. I'm a hater. Yes,
you can talk,
I
but money
understand.
talks.
We used to
You
call
can talk, but money
hateration.
talks. So talk more bucks. H to the is O, V to the is A. Because she's a man, he's used to do out of VA.
But
You can talk, but money talks. So talk more
what we
bucks.
used to call hateration, we used to call that class consciousness and class solidarity.
Listen, welcome to 25, nigga.
Listen, I have an innate hostility towards rich people.
Because you're a hater.
Yes, and I'm not one of them. But what we failed to realize in this reality, rich people have an innate distrust and hostility to poor and working class people.
That's why you have to cosplay as rich.
Fake it, yeah. Well, I don't even have the means to do that. I can't even fake it. I'm too poor to pay attention. But that's what we always talk about, us hating on them, but we never talk about on their fear, their distrust, how they literally hire security guards. First time, whenever somebody gets rich, the first thing they do is hire a security detail. And ain't nobody done nothing to them. Ain't nobody said nothing to them. And we always talk about how the poor hate on the rich, but we never talk about how much hatred the rich have for the poor. And if somebody hate me, I'm going to hate them back.
I'm going to need some security when I'm coming around your ass. I'm going to need me security.
You can hire me in security. Send me a ticket to Rio.
What the fuck? I don't believe in your 52 blocks, bro.
It's 52 blocks.
Especially,
that shit is real, man. I was on Rikers Island.
Especially when it took me like just 1 hour to invent the 53rd block, bro.
I'm telling you, that shit is real. Jailhouse martial arts is some real shit, man. When I was at Rikers, that shit is real. I saw that shit. I was amazed. It ain't no joke.
Don't be saying that you were at Rikers like you were in jail, nigga. You were there as a fucking doctor. You were working in the fucking hospital when I was at Rikers. Listen, don't be listening to this guy.
No, I was in the infirmary. Like, I don't feel medicine.
That jailhouse fighting technique be real, y'all. When I was at Rikers, fuck you, bro. You are fuck.
I seen dudes handcuffed. I seen dudes handcuffed take out like 3 other dudes while in handcuffs, and the other dudes wasn't in handcuffs. Man, that 52 block shit is real. Shit is mad real. That's all I'm saying.
All the hardware is 52 blocks, bro.
Shit is mad real, man. Like I said, when I was at Rikers, man, I just would have been laughing too.
Where's Erica? I want to report you to Erica. This has gone too far.
I don't know, man.
What you mean you don't know where your woman is, man?
I really don't know.
What kind of man are you? You don't know where your woman is.
Listen, this is not Nigeria, man. The women here, they gave them rights.
So, trust me, you don't want a Nigerian woman. They are worse, bro.
Oh, somebody's worried. Well, you better tell that to the passport bros.
No. Let them come. Let them come, please. They need to be taught some lessons. You know.
It's funny.
Anybody that any man that talks down to black women, the vengeance of the universe is that they would link them with a Nigerian woman.
American women are the worst. Yankee women are the worst. That's the rhetoric that abounds. So, man, can you give us any updates where you be at? You touring?
Yeah, man. I'm in Brazil right now. It's so good out here, bro. Oh my God, man! I'm telling you, man.
I have to take your word for it.
I'm having the time of my life.
I have to take your word for it.
Oh man, I would invite you, but you're no fun, bro. You're no fun. You don't drink. You don't smoke. Like,
I drink,
and I'm already gonna have to. I'm already having to see your ass in a couple of weeks in Lagos anyway. Like,
I ain't heard from them, man. They ain't sent me my tickets or nothing. But I do drink now. I'm a drinker. So
one wine a month, 1 glass of wine a month. Fuck you, bro.
Half a glass. I have to share it with my wife. No, it's a week though. It's a week.
Bro. We'll get you there, bro. We'll get you tossing back that Henny in a sec.
No brown. Organic vegan red wine.
We're gonna get them to make vegan Hennessy just for you.
Half a glass of organic vegan red wine once or twice a week for heart and circulatory health. So I do drink. I'm a drinker. So anyway, shout out to Lula. You heard about that? Oh, I ain't gonna get into that. You in Brazil? We'll talk about Brazil when you're not in Brazil.
Lula.
We're gonna talk. I can't get into that. No, not all alcohol isn't vegan. All alcohol isn't vegan because they use certain animal products in the process.
It's vegan to us, Diallo. It's vegan to us.
Not though,
bro.
It's not
vegan to us.
They use animal fat and animal hides and stuff. They use all kind of animal.
Toe Jam 21. I'm with you 100.
Alcohol is not all alcohol is
Alcohol
vegan.
is
Some of
vegan.
it is.
It's
Not
vegan.
all wines are vegan. You'd be
Listen,
surprised.
I'm with you, bro.
You'd be
Diallo
surprised.
is just a killjoy.
You'd be.
I lived with this man for 2 weeks in New York. You know, it was like, oh
We were
my
bowling.
God.
We were what?
Well, it's true. We're balling, bro. We had a good time.
Yes. What are you talking about? I thought you were to join. You didn't want to come out to the Chelsea Garden, but other than that, we had bagels and oat milk lattes. I had the
Listen,
time of my
bro.
life. I had the time of my life.
It was good in New York, bro. It's as
Bro.
if we knew, you know, Nigeria is about to be invaded. You know, we were like, I was doing like a last hurrah.
Right.
By the way, Trump has to come. Let me just tweet this. Whatever they are planning, they should let after 30 December. They should not come and spoil 30 December. Let me just, I have to tweet this out. Please, Trump should
After,
just, whatever is happening, whatever he's doing, he should just
listen,
wait.
he's got to get through Venezuela. He's got to hit Venezuela, and he's got to hit
Colombia.
Colombia. And I
I
think
think
he'll
we got
get
a couple of months.
right. Y'all pretty low on the priority list. If
Yeah, I
y'all
think
just
we've got a
leave the
couple of
Christians
months.
alone, or the rapture might come before then.
There's been 2 raptures already, and they didn't take you, Diallo. What
I
does
don't
that
want
have
to
to
go.
say?
I'd be holding on to shit. No pants on, just holding on to a fire hydrant. I don't want no part. Let me tell you something. If God were real, I would be a devout Satanist. I'm telling you.
I can't deal with that guy. I can't
Milk and
deal.
honey, that shit is gross.
I can't deal.
I mean, heaven sounds lame as hell.
I can't deal.
Right. So.
And nobody talk about any. I didn't read anything about payment structure for all the hallelujahs we'll be singing up there.
Right. That's
You
what my
know,
uncle said. That's my uncle. I had a great uncle, Pastor Boyd.
I didn't see no menu. So I'm guessing it's not going to be white people food up in that shit. Nah.
Right. He said milk, land of milk and honey. I had
That's
to
all, bro.
Huh?
In my father's house, there are many mansions. Nigga already built one.
I don't
Talk
like
to me
that.
nice.
I like cozy little,
Exactly. I want a penthouse suite. I want a fucking
Right, I'm
penthouse suite
trying
now.
to do. I was raised in and lived my whole life in apartments, man.
With a great
I mow
view,
the
with a
lawn.
great view of River
Right,
Heaven.
who
You
gonna mow
know,
the grass? Yeah, forget that, man.
wait, I think all that would be by magic, like mowing the grass,
Oh, magic.
fixing. Yeah, that would be like boop,
Boring.
boop, 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 boop,
And
boop,
boring.
boop.
And all the cool people gonna be
But
in hell. John G.
I just
Jackson,
want a view. I want a
Diana
penthouse
Clark.
apartment with a view of the river of milk and honey. I want to see that river every morning. And can we swim in it though? And if we're allowed to swim in it, can we still drink the milk and honey?
This is sounding mad lame. So they can get it. It's like heaven sounds like the description of medieval peasant, like modern life. Like the people who invented heaven, they never saw a flat screen TV. They never rode in a sports car. They didn't know the pleasures humans would create. Those half-starved peasants was like, oh, a mansion and milk and honey. Like that sounds lame as hell to a modern human being. But if God was real, let me not lie. Let me not front like I'm that hardcore. If God was real, I would become a Mormon because the Mormons got the flyest heaven of any religion, the flyest afterlife. So,
really? Explain. I
God
don't know.
does ever reveal himself, I will be a Mormon. And I'd be Orthodox Mormon, so Eric would have to make room.
Man, I'm joining you
I'd
in
be
that Mormon shit.
fundamentalist
I'll be a Mormon
LDS.
too. Come to think
That's
about
my
it, I'll be a
religion. That's my
Mormon.
backup religion.
I'll be a Mormon. Mitt Romney for life, bro. I'm gonna link up with Big Meat. Big Meat. Mitt Romney.
I don't want to hold you, man. Even though I didn't get an invite. So Nigeria is still happening in December?
Yeah, man. We got to tell Trump to, just delay his plans till January, after my birthday.
All right.
He can invade anytime after January the 11th.
Oh,
Can you convey that to your president, please?
Is this weekend. So,
can you please convey to your president to delay his invasion till after the 11th of January?
it's best if I say nothing, because the moment I say don't do something, he definitely gonna do that shit. Oh,
Exactly. So just tell him invade on the 11th of January. So he'll be like, I'm going on the 12th.
Oh, this is devolving. This conversation is devolving, and then you talk about
No, it ain't.
It's devolving.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. I'm accepting the might of America, the great America, the might, the saving nation of the world. Come to my country.
When you say might,
come to my country,
parasitic insect, the might of America. That's what you're really saying. That works. Let me see.
No, MIGHT, bruh. Might of America.
Yeah,
America is going to come.
Yes, it's a little parasitic insect.
That's you, not me. Trump, that's Diallo. You know, that's not me. I believe. Oh, say, can you see?
You should put that to Afrobeat. You won a Grammy, man.
That's the only line I know in the American anthem.
By the dawn's early light.
How terrible am I?
Go ahead, you sing it.
How terrible am I? Oh, say, can you see?
Get that album, Heavier Yet Lays the Crownless Head. Dope album. What else? You got any other announcements?
Yeah, I'm playing in Porto Alegre on Wednesday night. If anybody's coming to Brazil and you're coming to this Porto Alegre area, catch my show, you know, and our podcast, The Bird's Eye View. You don't talk about our podcast on your show.
You know why I don't talk about that funky podcast? Because I promoted it and they copyright struck my channel. I put it up and I'm like, check out Bird's Eye View. I'm co-hosting a podcast with Seun. Check it out. Here's some blurbs. Go support. And then I went to bed and woke up and I got all these red emails with red exclamation points.
Did you tell them it's your show?
Yeah, nigga? I told them. They don't listen to me. I got a copyright strike for showing my own damn face. See, I just sold my soul, man. This is what it feels like. I sold my soul for some vegan Kit Kats.
That's what you get.
Free, I'm cheap.
That's what you get. I told you not to.
Yeah, that's what I get. But I'm not gonna get it again. Yeah, I'll get it once, but I ain't gonna get it a second time. Shame on you. You fooled me once. Shame on me if you fooled me twice. So that's why you're talking about, oh, you don't promote. Yeah, of course I don't promote. You know.
Anyway,
you're legal.
Talk about the show.
Some white man calling me. Hi, I represent. I won Seun Kuti. Yes. You know, so
my people, they be on their job. You know, my people, they be on their job.
Yeah, your
you know
people,
this.
Man, they scared the shit out of me. Yeah, you got crew. You roll deep.
Yeah, so, you know.
Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, of course I don't promote.
I've got white people working for me, bro. White people.
You made it. You have arrived. So yeah, the podcast was great. It was a wonderful experience, but I can't.
Yeah, I can't wait for us to finish it, man. This December, legally, it's gonna be awesome.
I can't legally. And now they don't even have no vegan Kit Kats no more. I don't even know how they're gonna pay me. Anyway, man,
you'd be surprised,
bro. Huh?
Yeah, man. Thanks. But listen, no cause for alarm. MAGA is MAGA for Africa. You know, we're going to make Africa groove again. That's it.
That's clever. That's clever.
More power.
But I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. I'm going to do it live on it as well.
They telling me December, but I ain't seen or heard nothing from nobody.
No, listen. The big man has spoken. This shit is happening in December. Trust me.
Okay. You ain't lied to me yet.
Yeah, man.
But you've lied on me,
gonna,
though. So I'm in a conundrum. You've never lied to me, but you have lied on me. So
I just put forward your truest innermost feelings that you never want to put out because you don't want to be a bother.
no, I've never been a bother, and there's no point in starting that now.
Listen, get off the air and call me because we're just right there. We're just doing the bullshit we do when we're together in front
Right,
of the
that's
whole
what I'm
world.
saying. I was trying to wrap
What
it
the
up.
fuck are you doing? Get
Normally,
off this show and call me. Like,
my
if you
show
want to
is
talk to
very
me, call me.
professional.
You never call me. This dude, you message me out of the blue for 2 weeks. Are you going to be free at 7 p.m. tomorrow? Like, how are you,
That's not
sir?
out of the blue.
How are
Don't make me
you
send
doing?
screenshots. Don't make me come with the receipts. I have your ass on the shade room. Look at all this correspondence. I ain't even going. Look, what are you talking about? See, you lie on me. You don't lie
One-sided. Why are
to
you
me,
so
but you
fast?
lie.
Why is it so fast?
Because I don't want people to
One-sided
see your business.
correspondence.
But I'm telling you, you say I don't call. You be lying on me, man. You be lying on me. I don't even know what you're getting out of the lies. You lie on me for
Bye.
All right,
I'm leaving.
Peace. All right, y'all. We heard it from Nigeria's own living legend, Seun. The genocide of Christians in Nigeria is not happening, and Trump has ulterior motives. Let's all gasp together. Let's all put our fingertips to our chest and say, oh, Trump's lying. Can you believe it? So anyway, there's a lot more I wanted to get into, but we in different time zones and whatnot. And I didn't want to hold him too long, but I appreciate y'all. But again, first the thing, please like, share, subscribe. And then he let some stuff out. We doing some stuff in November, bird's eye view type things. He said it's happening. If he said it's happening, it's happening. But I appreciate y'all. Go like, share, subscribe. Make a positive contribution to the BroDiallo Show to help sustain if you are enlightened and entertained all in one fell swoop. I have a little time, so we can do some Q&A if you'd like. Manifesto said, can you set up YouTube membership? Okay, I will set up YouTube membership. So that'll come quick. As soon as I tomorrow, I'll see what that is. I don't even know what that is. I have to stop fronting. Any other questions, comments, criticisms? That's the only comment that I saw starred. Someone had asked me about a book list. A book list is kind of difficult for me because I kind of go all over the place. And, when it comes to books, I'm kind of asymmetrical. Like, I read books sometimes by conservatives and right-wingers. And I don't know if it's appropriate, like Revolt of the Masses or Behold a Pale Horse. So sometimes I read books that I know are not whole, like one of my favorite books that is a horrible book, that is one of the worst books ever written, is Lexus and the Olive Tree. So sometimes white folks tell on themselves, you gotta listen to the silences, as Stanley said. So I will start doing, because I do have a media guy that's going to be working with me, where it will be easier to recommend books by various topics and various subject matters. So that's that. Will I ever come back to Twitter? This week I downloaded Blue Sky, and I think I'm gonna just go over to Blue Sky. I know nobody's over there, nobody's talking, but I just can't. Every time I log on to Twitter, I don't do anything. I didn't delete my account because there's some stuff I wanted to get off of there, but I don't post on Twitter anymore. And every time I go there, it's just a bunch of right-wing reactionary bullshit, a bunch of racists, a bunch of fascists, a bunch of white nationalists, Christian nationalists. I mean, Twitter is a freaking cesspool. So I don't have any motivations to go back there. And I know a lot of people would be like, all of these social media sites are owned and controlled by fascists, which is absolutely true. But, I have to say, like Tupac said, I hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. Like all of the CEOs are scumbags, but I mean, one is out here throwing out Nazi salutes and chainsawing the government and just doing it in our face. So maybe I'm more accustomed to seductive racist, low-key racist, indirect racism, but this blatant fascism is a bit much. I wasn't raised on, I was born after Jim Crow, so I'm not accustomed to overt racism up in my face. So all that to say is, I don't know. I really don't know. Twitter is shitty, but all the social media, the whole internet is shitty, aside from the BroDiallo show. So I don't know. Any more protocols for the new Negro self-exposure protocol? Can you explain it on this point? Oh, the new Negro self-exposure protocol was a way. Let me give it back. I'll be with you in a moment, R. I see you there. The new Negro self-exposure protocol was basically the whole time that I was in the movement, there were a lot of accusations being thrown around. You're an agent, you're a liberal, you're not sincere, and everybody was always throwing accusations. And anybody that did or said something the next person didn't like, they would start casting aspersions. And so as I was going through organizing, being a rank and file member of an organization or founding and building an organization from the ground up, I always thought there needs to be some way for us to internally come up with a way to internally police ourselves. And I remember when I was a member of MBUF was very good at not allowing these ideological internal struggles like name calling and put downs and accusations. I remember one time I was in a meeting and one of the leaders said that I was speaking like an agent provocateur. I was making some suggestions. I was, the floor was open and I was able to say, I think we should do this and not that. And a brother sat there and was like, man, I've been around. And when I was in Philadelphia organizing, a brother came in there talking just like you were talking, and he's an agent provocateur. And I'm like, so you could just say that? And I looked at everybody and they were like, they just let him say it. So long story short is I came up with this thing called New Negro Self-Exposure Protocol. There was a time when the new Negro was the Negro that was going to stand up and assert his rights. And it was a very defiant position going back to Marcus Garvey era. The new Negro was the Negro that was not going to bow. But over time, African resistance evolved, and we went from being Negro colored to being black man to being African, where Negro was kind of a obsolete, past bygone thing. It went from a thing of defiance to a thing of compliance. So the self-exposure protocol. So a new Negro is a black person who is failing to evolve, who is failing to, even though the word new in there, it's old. And the self-exposure protocol is saying that you cannot level accusations or condemnations or title on someone. They can only title or expose themselves. So when someone does stand up to show that they are a predator, that they are inconsistent, that they are disloyal, you're obligated to only demonstrate, you can only level accusations against someone that there is evidence for. So the first step of New Negro Self-Exposure Protocol is to expose someone. Like I can say, Umar is a right-wing reactionary. He is not a revolutionary Pan-Africanist. I can say that Dr. Umar exhibits predatory behavior towards black women. And I can go to his own statements, his public statements, what he has said, what he has written, what he has posted to social media, and say, well, he doxed his baby mama and his former mother-in-law. He exposed women to danger. He's talked about black women's hygiene. He's just done a lot of shit. But I don't say this because it's how I feel about him. I can only provide the evidence of what he did. So it is a way for us to police ourselves with that elevates beyond, I don't like this person, therefore they're bad. Whereas I have evidence based on this person's public statements and known actions and activities So condemnation should come from a place of evidence, not emotion, number one. So you expose and then you isolate them, meaning that if you say, well, there's evidence that this person is predatory, disruptive, disloyal, then they have to be cut off from anywhere they can do damage. And then the next level of that is if it is confirmed, if it is reinforced, if there is no remedy, then you expel them from the community, you expel them from the organization, you expel them from the project or the movement. So the new Negro self-exposure protocol is to expose with evidence, isolate, and expel someone. That's the new Negro self-exposure. And I wrote it out in detail several times and passed it around. You know, that's just a means. R, welcome to the BroDiallo Show. You have a question, comment, or criticisms?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just continuation of last time, fascism. I should be quick with my words here. So, despite, you gave an amazing explanation to the kind of conclusion of what fascism is, and the kind of basically, for some reason, that just hasn't clicked. So maybe to keep it concise, what's the evolution of of understanding what fascism is from I don't know, what were the most elementary kind of ways of understanding it in the past to the more complete way we would understand it now?
Well, the most elementary is the fascist movements emerged to rescue a nation from moral decay, from enemies within and without. That's the main goal that fascists say, that our nation state is decaying, is dying, and there is a rot, an internal rot within our nation. And the internal rot within our nation makes us vulnerable to external threats. So we have to fight enemies from within and from the outside. That's the most basic argument of a fascist.
I guess what I meant was when, of course, as we understand it, fascism came out into the limelight of Italy and Germany.
It came out of Italy.
Yeah.
It was built on the mythology surrounding the Roman Empire and especially the Spartan warrior culture.
And that's the associations today. But once that happened and once World War II ended, what were the scholars in the past going why did this happen? What were they thinking versus how it's developed to this point now with what we understand it to be?
Yeah, there was a lot of people trying to discuss fascists, but a lot of them, it's bad because a lot of some of the earliest analysis on fascists came from racists. And they really failed to do a self. So you would probably want the communist writers, the anarchist writers probably had the best assessment because standard historians and standard political scientists held very strong. They aligned with much of fascism. It's kind of like when Christians look at Christian fundamentalists and say, well, they're not real Christians, even though both of them adhere to the same basic thoughts, the same basic value system. Or when a Muslim looks at a Muslim fanatic and say, well, he's not a real Muslim. A lot of racists look at fascists and say, well, they're not, they don't claim they're racist. They'll say, well, I'm a patriot and this isn't real patriot. I'm a Democrat or, I'm an American and American values. And these fascists aren't real Americans. So fascism is, and I told you, this is what the best definition. Fascism is capitalism's immune system. I don't know if I can get it clearer than that. Fascism emerges when the contradictions and abuses of capitalism begin to harm enough people where they will start to resist. Fascism emerges to direct the justified anger of the exploited masses. That's the whole what fascism does, and it has techniques, strategies, and rationale to redirect the justified anger of the exploited working class masses.
I think I need to step away. Like I think everything I could say right now is just like a waste of time, like a waste of your time. So
I'm sorry, I did my best, but I do hope you can.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm shit, but
no, yeah, I mean, sure, it's not really that complex. It's just a means to justify indirect violence. That's all it is. The fascist comes to the worker and say, hey, it's the immigrants, it's the gays, it's the transgenders, it's the welfare queens. It's all these vulnerable people that are making you suffer. And that's why the richest man in the world funds fascism. Peter Thiel and all of these people fund fascism, because if fascism didn't exist, then people would say, hey, I'm suffering, I'm pissed off, I'm ready to take action. Who's causing my suffering? And fascism gives that answer to them and gives them the justification and the rationale. I don't know how I could be clear, but I got more people waiting. I do appreciate you, R, and I hope you do find clarity. I've done my best.
I appreciate you always. Farewell.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you. Izzy, question, comment, criticism?
It's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
I've just been, been thinking these days, I was thinking about all this death and everything, and every time, people try to do anything anyway, they die, like the Indonesian genocide, or when, they purge for the second times in my country, the Dominican Republic, all the communists, and they keep killing people. Like, does it ever end,
I do think there is an ultimate end, because the system that we're fighting against isn't just exploiting and abusing people and killing people. It's destroying the life-sustaining capacity of the earth. It is destroying the world's ecosystem. This system, this economic and political system, is denurturing the oceans. The phytoplankton are dying. So if we don't defeat this system, then extinction is the ultimate outcome, because the system cannot regulate itself. It's literally a cancer.
I don't want that to happen, but
Right.
like,
Yeah, there is an end. It's either victory or death. The whole thing, freedom or death. This is a good book. The author is a little crazy. He's lost his mind. But when he was writing this book here, Endgame, by Derek Jensen, and volume 2 is not as good, but I definitely recommend volume 1. And if you just want the complete, but this book really talks about how capitalism and white hegemony have a death urge. Its ultimate goal is the consumption and destruction of all living systems. So the end will either be we secure liberation and we destroy white hegemony and capitalism, or not just humans, not just black people, but all complex life forms are threatened and will be exploited to extinction. That's how serious it is. But we've also seen that as we make pushback, as the system is forced to reconfigure, forced to retreat, the earth begins recovering immediately. So we don't have to have ultimate victory to see positive outcomes. We can see some positive outcomes and even live good lives as we struggle. But the reality is, it's like Del Jones said, they would have never made a new world order if the old world order wasn't working. The oppressive systems always they lose. But the problem is they lose the war and win the peace. The monarchs have been defeated. The theocrats have been defeated. The fascists have been defeated. The colonizers have been defeated. The chattel enslavers have been defeated. And then they reemerge and they rewrite history so that we, as the working class people, as the masses, as the oppressed people, we don't even understand how much we win, how powerful we are, and how weak and vulnerable and illegitimate they are. So you fall, you turn on the news and you're bombarded by all this shit, and they got their jets flying over the Super Bowl. And then, you know from growing up in the hood, if you grew up in the hood, the dude that walked around boasting the most, the dude that walked around fronting the most was usually the weakest cat. The dude with the most jewelry and the flyest clothes usually had the lowest self-esteem. The dude that talked the most about getting hoes and got bitches is the dude that no girls liked. So the very fact that these people, that the elites, that the white people have to keep coming back and reinforcing slavery and banning books and consolidating the media, they are very afraid and very vulnerable. It's just a report coming out. You can go and Google about all the Trump administration people are abandoning their homes and going to live on military bases. So the struggle must continue, and we will win. And they can only defeat us if they convince us that we're defeated. We outnumber them. We're stronger than them. Their weapons, in fact, they depend on us. The rich and the elite are the parasitic class. So we just got to dig out this parasite. And humans and people, black people as a group and the oppressed people as a whole across the earth, we're making progress. But you're not going to turn on the nightly news or look at the internet algorithm that tells you that we're securing victories. They want, because their main most powerful tool is propaganda. Going back to the Catholic Church, going back to the Roman Empire, they had propaganda about the power of the Roman Empire. And now Rome literally sits in ruins. So we will win if our desire to be free is stronger than their desire to oppress us.
I got one more question though. Like, we know that like Marx says that like there's a natural conclusion to capitalism. You can't sustain infinite growth. And we saw, in Europe, fascism has come, economies have fallen. But what happens when, the whole thing goes down, like it happened in Portugal, like it happened in Spain and everything, and other countries in Europe, is like the rest of Europe and the US, the entire West, they all pitch in and they bring it all back and the cycle starts again. Yeah. So it's like, if you cut one head off and more grow, but like,
why doesn't that apply to us? Why doesn't that apply to the resistance? Why doesn't the same thing apply to you got relentless oppressors, and do we have relentless resistance?
It don't feel so relentless.
Right. You say it don't feel, but what does the record say?
There's always new movements and stuff. It's always,
Right. Look at how much resources the elite invest in what they call the security infrastructure. Surveillance, armed security, military. Look at how much. That is not a secure person. If you came to my house and there was a camera in every room and 50 locks on the door and I had a gun resting in every corner or a shotgun, would you be like, that's a secure man?
Nah.
You'd be like, that man is afraid, insecure, and it might be real threats, or I don't know. So we have to, as a people, as a movement, as a struggle, validate their fear. So it's on us. We're not going to be denied anything we're willing to organize and fight for. We never have been and we never will be. So the job now is, the real plight is, we got to organize.
Thank you, brother.
All right. I appreciate you, Izzy.
I see you.
All right. Reach out anytime you need to. Wait, that's the wrong person. Sorry. Hold on. I'm going to take you off Essalon. Eli, we got 2 minutes.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yep. So I'm in like a relative. To start off, I'm a very big fan of the show. I'm a very big fan of you.
Thank you.
I just had a question of if I'm like going off to a big university now, and I want to study sociology, and I wanted to study like Black radical politics, and I have the opportunity to go to some pretty prestigious PWIs, and I was wondering if you had any advice on like navigating those spaces, learning as much as I can, and getting the most out of it.
Shoot, I'm probably not the best person. I've kind of been in black spaces most of my life. And my son actually started off at a PWI and he transferred to a HBCU. And he said he just felt more at home there. Not that I want to discourage you, but my wife, when she was getting her doctorate, she said she used to write in the margins of her papers, "Don't be educated out of your mind." So even at most, and I know another very, very, very brilliant young lady. I think she's studying engineering. She went to a PWI and she found that there were Black studies groups, of Black student unions, and Black events. So anywhere you go, there is there will be a Black community. And if there isn't one, you can build one, and found one and reach out. And believe you me, if you're a Black person in a PWI, there are some other Black people that are longing for community there as well. So, you got to create a little capsule of African consciousness around yourself, because that's generally what I do when I am in predominantly white spaces, is I kind of create community, which will aid you, which will be part of your education. You're getting a formal education. You're getting a formal education from the school, but you'll be getting an informal education in saying, hey, I'm in a hostile environment, because if it's predominantly white, it's hostile. I don't care how many white girls try to push up on you, how many white guys invite you out to play frisbee golf. You're in a hostile environment. So you will have an informal education in community building and resistance. So take full advantage of both of those opportunities, Eli.
Thank you. And I think what your wife said was actually very salient about not to be educated out of your mind. I think, right. Yeah, I like that saying. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, bro. Appreciate you. Okay. Oh, where'd you go? Essalon, you're our last caller for the night. We have 1 minute. I'm sorry we lost so much time. You got a question, comment, or criticism?
Yeah, well, it's not really a question that hasn't already been talked about. I think it just got answered for the most part. I'm in university right now, and it's a interesting experience to say the least. And I'll just say your podcast has helped out a lot. I had a lot of questions about the, new Negro exposure, and this was a what's it called? It's a good platform to be on. I just appreciate it a lot.
Bro.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. So that's a good comment. I'm glad we're leaving on that note. And, I do feel like I have an obligation to my people to give some grounded and evidence-based insights to help our struggle. And I'm very happy that I've been able to do that for all this time in the community that we've built up around the BroDiallo Show. Please like, share, subscribe. Be back next Monday. Check us out. The Rational Radicals will be back on African World Order. Get over there and subscribe too. Those will be only 2 channels you subscribe to. So Rational Radicals will be back this Friday. I spoke to Skip earlier today. Tomorrow, the Cosmic Cowrie Shell, a Pan-African perspective on pop culture, sci-fi, comics, video games. So check out Cosmic Cowrie Shell with Aromo, Sir, and Sasha. And, it's growing. And I also talked to one of the hosts for a new podcast that's coming to African World Order that's supposed to be starting very soon. The sisters are going to be on deck for a show for, by, and of Black women. I don't know what Black women need their own show for. They could just come listen to us and have us explain it to them, but I don't know. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. Please hit the, what did he say? What did he say? Oh, hit the Cash App. Hit the Cash App, hit the Venmo, hit the Patreon, and I'll look into that subscribers thing. Until then, y'all, y'all be safe, man, and let's rise up and bring this shit down. Peace. Oh, where's the thing? Oh, my outro music. Peace.